Good morning everyone, today back with Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. Also written at page 190. Let's continue. Drop it, he advised her. It's up to him, and if we're going to the ministry tomorrow, don't you reckon we should go over the plan? Reluctantly, as the other two could tell, Hermione let the matter rest, though Harry was quite sure she would attack again at the first opportunity. In the meantime, they returned to the basement kitchen, where Creature served them all stew and a tico tart. They did not get to bed until late that night, after spending hours going over and over their plan until they could recite it, word perfect to each other. Harry was now sleeping in Sirius's room, lay in bed with each other. His warm light turning on the old photograph of his father, Sirius Lupin at Pettigrew, and muttered to the plan to himself for another 10 minutes. As he extinguished his wand, the plan he was thinking of not of the polyjuice potion, poking petalous all the navy blue robes of the magical maintenance. He thought of Gregovich, the wand-maker, and how long he could hope to remain hidden while Voldemort sought him so determinedly. Dawn seemed to follow midnight with indecent haste. "You look terrible," was Ron's greeting as he entered the room to wake Harry. Not for long," said Harry, yawning. They found Hermione downstairs in the kitchen. She was being served coffee and hot roast by Creature, and wearing the slightly manic expression that Harry associated with exam revision. "Robes," she said under her breath, acknowledging their presence with a nervous nod, and continued to poke around in her bedded bag. In Polyjuice potion, invisibility cloak, decoy, detonators. You should each take a couple just in case. Cooking pastillos, nosebleed nugget, expendable ears. They gulped down their breakfast, then set off upstairs, Creature bowing them out and promising to have a steak and kidney pie ready for them when they returned. "Bless him," said Ron fondly. When you think I used to fantasize about cutting off his head and sticking it on the wall." They made their way on the front step with immense caution. They could see a couple of puffy-eyed Death Eaters watching the house from across the misty square. Hermione disapparated with Ron first, then came back for Harry. After the usual brief spell of darkness and near suffocation, Harry found himself in the tiny alleyway where the first phase of their plan was scheduled to take place. It was as yet deserted, except for a couple of large bins. The first ministry worker did not usually appear here until at least 8 o'clock. "Right then," said Hermione, checking her watch. "She ought to be here in about 5 minutes when I stunned her." "Hermione, we know," said Ron sternly. "And I thought we were supposed to open the door before she got here." Hermione squealed. "I nearly forgot. Stand back." She pointed her wand at the padlocked and heavily graffitied fire door beside them, which burst open with a crash. The dark corridor behind it led, as they knew from their careful scouting trips, into an empty theater. Hermione pulled the door back towards her, to make it look as though it was still closed. "And now," she said, turning back to face the other two in the alleyway, "we put on the cloak again." "And we wait," Ron finished, turning it over Hermione's head like a base over a budger and rolling his eyes at Harry. Little more than a minute later, there was a tiny pop and a little ministry which was fly away. Grey hair apparated feet from them, blinking a little in the sudden brightness, and the sun had just come out from behind a cloud. She barely had time to enjoy the unexpected warmth. However, before Hermione's silent stunning spell hit him in the chest and she toppled over. "Nicely done, Hermione," said Ron, emerging from behind a bin beside the theater door as Harry took off the invisibility cloak. Together they carried the little witch into the dark passageway and that led backstage. Hermione plucked a few hairs from the witch's head and added them to a flask of muddy foliage potion she had taken from the beaded bag. Ron was rummaging through the little witch's handbag. She's Mafalda Hopkirk, he said, reading a small card that identified the victim as an assistant in the improper use of magical office. You'd better take this, Hermione, and here are the tokens. He passed her several small golden coins, all embossed with the letter M-O-M, which he had taken from the witch's purse. Hermione drank the polyjuice potion, which was now a pleasant heliotrope color, and within seconds stood before them the double of Mafalda Hopkins. As she removed Mafalda's spectacles and put them on, Harry checked his watch. "We're running late. Master Magical maintenance will be here any second." They hurried to close the door on the real Mafalda. Harry and Ron threw the invisibility cloak over themselves, but Hermione remained in view, waiting. Seconds later, there was another pop, and a small, ferrety-looking wizard appeared before them. "Oh, hello, Mafalda." "Hello," said Hermione in a quivery voice. "How are you today?" "Not so good, actually," replied the little wizard. Who looked thoroughly downcast." As Hermione and the wizard headed for the main road, Harry and Ron crept along behind them. "I'm sorry to hear you're under the weather," said Hermione, talking firmly over the little wizard as he tried to expound upon his problems. "It was essential to stop him reaching the street. Here, have a sweet." "Eh? Oh no, thanks." "I insist," said Hermione aggressively, shaking the best of pastels in his face. Looking rather alarmed, the little wizard took one. The effect was instantaneous. The moment the pastel touched his tongue, the little wizard started vomiting, so hard that he did not even notice as Hermione yanked a handful of hair from the top of his hair. "Oh dear," she said, as he splattered the alley with soot. "Perhaps you'd better take the day off." No, he shook and retched and tried to continue on his way, despite being unable to walk straight. "I must, today you must go." "No, this is just silly," said Hermione, alarmed. "You can't go to the work in this state. I think you ought to go to St. Mungo's and get them to sort you out." The wizard had to collapse, heaving on all fours, still trying to crawl forward towards the main street. "You simply can't go to work like this," cried Hermione. At last he seemed to accept the truth of her words. Using a repulsed Hermione to claw his way back into the standing position, he turned on the spot and vanished, leaving nothing behind but the bag Ron had snatched from his hand as he went, and flying chunks of vomit. Said Hermione, holding up the skirts of his robe to avoid the puddles of sick. "It would have made much less mess to stun him out, too." "Yeah," said Ron, emerging from under the cloak, holding the wizard's bag. "But I still think a whole pile of unconscious bodies would have drawn more attention. Keen on his job, though, isn't he? Chuck us the hair and the potion, then." Within 2 minutes, Ron stood before them, as small and ferrety as the sick wizard, and wearing the navy blue robes that had been folded in his bag. Well, he wasn't wearing them today, wasn't it? Seeing how much he wanted to go. Anyway, I'm Ragged Catamole. According to the label in the back. Now, wait here," Hermione told Harry, who was still under the invisibility cloak, "and we'll be back with some hair for yours." He had to wait 10 minutes, but it seemed much longer to Harry, skulking alone in the thick platted alleyway beside the door concealing the stunned Mafalda. Finally, Ron and Hermione reappeared. Well, I think we'll leave it here, guys, and we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye!